Poor Liam Hemsworth is always in his brother's shadow, and now he's going to be in Henry Cavill's shadow too. But I saw a headline. Yesterday or last night that said something about revealing his Geralt look. I haven't seen it yet, and I wanted to react to it on stream. So let me go ahead and Google this real quick so we can experience this together. Geralt. Okay. Okay. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? The Witcher art shows Liam Hemsworth as Geralt. Okay, so it's art. It's probably concept art, because when you look at, like, Marvel, for example, with the MCU, they always do concept art with the actors before they actually show them. Actually, that looks like a picture. I mean, it obviously was photoshopped and stuff. Henry Cavill exits The Witcher as Liam Hemsworth takes over the lead role. Henry Cavill is putting down his blades and moving on from The Witcher as 3 seasons as the leading man on the Netflix series. Concept. Oh, it's not official. I should have known. It's not official. So did they just Photoshop his face on a Henry Cavill piece here? I wish they made more. Let's see what this says. It says Liam Hemsworth looks great, but Henry was just Geralt. Someone who knows the material so well and made the adaptation to television great, whilst allowing the medium to express the story that works for that medium. Reads the top comment. I love Liam Hemsworth, but it just doesn't feel right. The beard doesn't sit right with me. Henry Cavill. Oh, I didn't even notice. I don't know why I didn't even notice, like, beard. Okay. Henry Cavill was just gorgeous as Geralt, adds the second most popular comment. Yes, Netflix, take an actor that is not just committed to the role, but also knows more about the books than most fans. So you have a committed actor and an accuracy consultant rolled into one. Exactly. This is what the fans want. This is what we want to see for everything. Fans of The Witcher, fans of The Last of Us, for that whole crap show that's gonna be. Not to mention with video games as well. I can't even stress how many times myself and other people in the Tomb Raider community have been like, please, for the love of Glob, can you start hiring people who are fans of Lara Croft and Tomb Raider in general, because it already feels like with the new stuff that it's just so out of touch with the source material. We want to see people who are fans making these properties. I don't know why Hollywood refuses to do that, or even in the gaming industry they refuse that a lot, but alas, this is where we're at. But hey, if they start losing money, maybe they gonna learn. Alright, so then let's top that off by having the actor be the physical embodiment of the character. Just forget all that and let him go, because the writers want to do their own thing. Mark my words, this will not end well. No offense to Hemsworth. He seems like a good actor, but he's not right for the role. Let me hydrate real quick. I know y'all be proud of me. All right. As you can see, the general reaction has nothing to do with Hemsworth and everything with him not being Cavill. And we reckon this is how it will go when our first look at Hemsworth as Geralt is revealed. Okay, so this is unofficial. I think this concept, this mock-up concept, does look really well done. And it can give us a very good idea of what we can expect. But I just know from I'm going to be honest with my impressions here. I would not have picked Liam Hemsworth for this. Not in a million years. I think a no-name actor who resembles the character more, and especially bonus points if he was already a fan of the source like Henry Cavill was, would be more ideal. But who knows? This is the thing with this kind of stuff, though, is I'm going to be optimistic here and say it is possible that we could be surprised by, maybe he'll do well. Do I anticipate this being good, though? No, not really, especially considering the writers have already been known to, and I made a video about this as well, the writers have already been known to not only be not that versed on the source material, but to go as far as to not even like it. And that's just what's so gross about these properties, that they want our money. They sure want the fans' money, but they don't want to actually give us what we want, unless you're like Sonic the Hedgehog. And as much of a success as that was, I mean, they went so far as to put a ton of money into changing Sonic's design, which, thank goodness for that. But yeah, it just showed some care for the source. I just saw Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers made a tweet the other day, which showed the poster for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 sequel, and it was like an homage to the Sonic 2 video game cover with the grip on the 2. Everything was all just positioned as an homage to that. And I think that's just such a good reflection of how, hey, they care about the source enough to honor it and to have fun with that. And unfortunately, I think that what happens a lot with these TV shows, video games, so on and so forth, is that one reason why they don't honor it that much is because they want to do their own thing. They want to insert their own message into it. I mean, they want to hijack it, essentially. And this is why gatekeeping is actually important. And I never in a million years thought I would say that, because back when people were trying to gatekeep people from hijacking the gaming industry or anime or nerd culture in general, back when that was really, when it was first starting, when the people were first starting to roll in, first starting to hijack stuff, the gatekeepers were like, get out of here, man. You're not a real gamer. You're not a real nerd fan, like, of this thing. I remember thinking they were so mean. I remember thinking, come on, there's room for everybody, and in a perfect world, that would be the case. But what I learned real quick is that they didn't want to just be included. They wanted to hijack it and change it because their heart wasn't actually in it. Are they actually gamers? Do they actually enjoy a challenge of a video game instead of just having a basic walking simulator to where the whole appeal of the game is all in its cinematics and all in its presentation and not so much in the actual substance of gameplay? They want a super easy baseline experience that they can spend 5 hours beating and just walking through and getting to watch pretty cutscenes, stuff like that. That's not a real gamer. It's not. There's still room for people to make games for people like that, but for the whole industry to be catering toward those people, which we are seeing a lot of now, that's what's tragic. Now, to get back to where I was going earlier with trying to see this from a different angle and trying to see where it's possibly could turn out better than we anticipate, I think one thing is if some of y'all remember, whenever we saw the first concept images of Henry Cavill as Geralt, a lot of the internet didn't like it. They were like, no way, Henry Cavill doesn't look like Geralt. This ain't gonna work. Like, there was so many people that were like, nuh-uh, no, this looks like, Party City costume. And that was pretty much almost like the majority, if not, from what I remember, I think that was the majority of what people thought. And then look what happened. He's a huge fan. He was the only redeeming quality of the show. And now people are, they don't want to see him go. So Liam Hemsworth says he is a Witcher fan, but I guess we're going to find out. Because, let's say if him saying he's a Witcher fan, let's say that's true. Let's say he knows his stuff and he will do the same thing Henry Cavill did with offering his input and trying to make the show accurate. Who knows? Maybe we could be surprised, but I'm just going to say I don't anticipate that, because as it stands already, there was all those rumors going around and somebody making a tweet that went real viral about how difficult Henry Cavill was to work with because, you know, he just actually wanted the source material to be respected, so that made him difficult, and he used gamer words, gamer lingo on set. Oh no, how misogynistic. I think, and because he didn't want to get naked all the time, they were upset about that. Now imagine if the roles were reversed and it was a woman who said that, and if people's response was to look at that as a negative thing. The double standard is just unreal. That's another thing, too, is like, I don't know, that's a whole other discussion, but I'm just like, dude, ever since Game of Thrones, so many TV shows want to emulate that, and they just want to add a bunch of, just for no reason, unnecessary nudity and things of that nature, and it's just like, I'm just going to speak for myself. More often than not, it doesn't really add to the story, and it's just awkward. That's how I feel. It's uncomfortable. I feel bad for the actors who don't want to do that stuff, but I don't know. That's where I stand on it. Some people call me a prude, whatever, but I just think it's awkward and uncomfortable, especially with stuff like this. This is, like, for example, like, my family, most of us, like, except mom, but she still plays along because she's cool like that. But we're all nerds. So a lot of stuff like this is something that would be fun to watch with your family and things like that. But if they keep inserting stuff like that, no, I'm not going to watch something like Game of Thrones with my family. It's so freaking awkward. But that's another tangent I'm going to go on. But I'm just going to say this. I don't anticipate this going well. Obviously, I don't think he's going to live up to Henry Cavill's Geralt. I just don't think that's possible. But if the writers and if the production in general was smart, they would really go hard at writing it as accurate to the source and respecting the source material as possible. Because you already have people who are going to be upset that Henry Cavill's gone. So you're going to have to throw in a lot of fan service. And when I say fan service, I don't mean, ecchi, hentai-ish anime fan service like that. What I mean is, like, actually respecting the source material and, giving us things that are accurate with the actual Witcher books in this case. So that would be the best thing they could possibly do, but they're probably not going to do it, and this is probably going to crash and burn, and yeah, that's what I anticipate. But if they were to do it right, it could still work, because I will say a lot of people don't like change when it comes to their entertainment or media in general, because this is something that also, some of y'all know I have a background in hosting for a lot of video game companies over the years. It's only until recently that I went fully independent, and I don't really do that anymore, because honestly, the hosting space and the hosting stuff for gaming has lessened dramatically since the COOF stuff happened. So there's just not as many, except for like esports stuff. It's a lot more rare that they're hiring hosts now. There's that, but also because of how vocal I am and how unwoke I am, I'm kind of blacklisted, I imagine. Which I don't even freaking care. I've went over this tangent on my first video on this channel, if you guys are curious about that. But I much prefer to be able to speak my authentic opinions on things than have to be a puppet just to, fly out to events and host for companies. I'm at a different stage in my life now, and where I just want to keep it real. So anyway, there you have it for today's video. What do you think of this Liam Hemsworth the Witcher concept, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much again for hanging out. I will catch you next time. And in the meantime, go boom.